So basically what we want to talk about today is the residential sales market update, which Ben will be doing, and then we're talking about that LGBTQ plus purchase concerns, what goes on in the market, general buyer and seller information, just things that we think you should know, educate yourself before you get into looking at homes, with financing, all those different things that happen. Ryan will talk about the Home Partners of America, home, commercial market updates, and updated, commercial lease purchase basics, and then question and answer. We'll all answer any questions you have. We love questions, so please think about them, write them down, we have to answer them.
I'm Ben Laube, team leader of the Ben Laube Homes Team. As you know, names are cool. And I get to talk to you about market stats. So we've all been through a roller coaster of 2 years with COVID, and the real estate market has been through a roller coaster of a time as well. Everyone is experiencing inflation. It is a real thing. And we're also seeing a shift in the market as we speak now. I'm not going to read stats because you guys can definitely read it yourself. But what you can know, or what you should know, is that we have seen an increase in inventory in these summer months. And that's kind of typical of our Central Florida market. And I'm talking super specific, where we see more and more listings that are added to the marketplace in the summertime. That's when most people move, kids are out of school, and it makes it super easy. The difference is we're not seeing those homes absorbed by buyers as quickly as we normally would because of the increase in interest rates, right? So when interest rates increase, we're seeing buyers be pulled out of the marketplace because their buying power goes down and they can no longer buy the house that they want to be able to get, right? So as buyers are slightly exiting our marketplace and listings are increasing, we're seeing a slight shift in how the market is going to be moving over the next couple months. Now, with real estate, everything is in a 30-40 day cycle because when you go under contract, it takes you 30-40 days until you close. So we're seeing a reaction to the increase in interest rates, and that reaction is always going to be delayed by about 3 months after the interest rates shift, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 18 months if interest rates continue to go up through the rest of the year in an attempt to curb inflation, or if they start leveling off. And that's going to have a direct impact to our market. Another key fact here, like I said, the inventory has increased, definitely month to month. And as we get closer to the end of the year, things are going to probably slow down a little bit. And when we say slow down, we don't mean crash, right? We're not going to see 06, 07 crash again because the people who are buying these homes are qualified buyers, right? The regulatory changes that were made after the 06, 07 crash ensured that the buyers are more qualified now than they were prior to 06, 07, right? So these qualified buyers that are buying these homes are going to be able to make it through this cycle change, and we'll probably see prices level off and actually experience more opportunities for buyers as inventory increases, right? So previously, in the last 6 months, in March, right, if you were going to buy a house, we would tell you, let's write an offer on 5 different houses. You're probably not going to get any one of them accepted. You're going to have to go, $20,000 above list and waive appraisal, and then next week we'll do the same thing again, right? Slight difference. And again. 6 months later now, right, there's more opportunity with more inventory. It's actually better for buyers because we can go see 5 houses this weekend, write an offer maybe on 1 or 2, and we have a better negotiating power to get your offer accepted and maybe get the seller down on price, right? So it's frustrating because everyone's like, oh, the market's hot. The market was hot in the beginning of this year. That wasn't a good hot for us as agents, right? Because when we're writing 20 offers for one buyer to get them under contract, that's way more work than showing them houses one weekend, writing 5 offers for 1 offer and getting it accepted, right? So we actually prefer a more equilibrium, balanced market. And the bigger shift that's going to be coming soon is all these builders, right? I heard some of you discussing new construction earlier. All these new construction builders have overbuilt their cycle, right? So their inventory is basically beyond what they expected to be absorbed in these last few months of the year. So what that means is builders don't like decreasing prices, right? They're building out let's say a 250 home community. As they're building those homes, they like to increase prices as they go. right? That's kind of standard. And if they ever have to say, oh, we now need to sell this home, this floor plan, for $10,000 less than the one we sold last weekend, which is the exact same house, just on a different line of community, that's through state assessment. So before builders will decrease price, they will increase the incentives to the buyer, and they'll say, we'll cover your closing costs. Instead of giving you $5,000 for closing costs, we'll give you $15,000, right? They'll increase their incentive to their agents, right? Which is why it's important to work with an agent if you go through construction, right? They'll say, hey, real estate agents, instead of paying you 2%, we'll pay you 3%, we'll pay you a $5,000 bonus, right? Because they still have to move the inventory. Sitting inventory is the death of a builder, right? So their inventory has been increasing, and we've seen these incentives for buyers and for agents increase dramatically for new construction opportunities that are very better for the buyer than where we were 6 months ago. So that's our market update as things shift. And yeah, if you have any questions, there's a Q&A afterwards.
Yes. All right, thanks, Ben. All right, so basically what we talk about is what does a real estate agent want to use one? Ben mentioned it on construction. Obviously, we also help you with selling your home, purchasing your home. I mean, most people might buy anywhere from 3 to 5 houses through their lifetime. And so you don't do that transaction that often. Or what we do this every day. So we know the ins and outs, and no matter what, when it's about the commission and all stuff, it always comes down to helping the person out. I mean, so it's not, a real estate agent isn't gonna make their whole payoff of one deal. It takes a whole cumulative effort throughout the year to help people out. So using the agent where we can educate you, get up to speed on what's going on, you ask us questions, and nothing that you're paying for up front. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a buyer, the seller pays the commissions, and if you're a seller, you negotiate that and you pay out when the house sells. So we're just here to help people find the right house, do the groundwork. Everyone has jobs. A lot of people don't have time to do this. So you say, hey, I want to look at these 4 or 5 houses. We do a preliminary work. We look them over, send you information. So we don't go out and look at, all of a sudden we get like, oh, it has a pond in the backyard. Too close for my kids. I don't want that. We do preliminary stuff, so we try not to waste anyone's time. And the more you open up to us as real estate agents about what you're looking for, the more we can help you out. I mean, it's got to really become a relationship. I mean, purchasing a home is one of the biggest things in most people's lives. So the more you can tell us about what you're looking for, what you intend to do, the more we get a better feel for what's in the market and what we can find out. Remember, not all homes are on Zillow or Realfin or Realtor.com. A lot of pocket listings, we call them, are things coming in the market. If we know exactly what you're looking for, we can tell you about these listings before they even come in the market to get ahead of this competitive atmosphere of that home. So I mean, there's a lot of different things. A lot of people are, if you're selling your home, people are like, I don't want to pay all this commission. When you look at it with, when you have the agent, I mean, the title company takes care of going through the contracts, make sure the deeds are correct, make sure there's no litigation on the home, everything's clean, where if you're going to sell your home by yourself, you have to do that with your own lawyers, have all that stuff done, and it's all fees, or it's all packed into like one thing. We try to make it easier. I mean, no matter what you do, it's gonna be stressful. No matter what you do it with the agent or without, but we try to make the stress as easy as possible and try to catch all the bullets coming where you guys don't have to absorb them and deal with all that stuff. So basically, I said you can read through here. What I like to do is, it's very true. We're like your therapist, we're your cheerleader. Just like Ben was alluding to earlier in the mark before, when you go look at 5 houses, put 5 offers in. You fall in love with 2 or 3 of them, and finally don't get any of them. Now, a lot of people just get deflated. They don't want to go look at houses anymore because they're just like, oh, we're not going to get it, we're not going to get it. So I mean, it's part of our responsibility. Just keep you upbeat. We're going to get you a house. It's going to happen. And just the biggest thing is you get the part of trusting your agent to where you feel what they're telling you is correct, and you can go follow their lead. You know it's your money, your investment. With following us and what we're trying to do, because our main goal is to get into a house. That's the whole thing. The other thing to work out is, this is very important, I said, you want to build a relationship. So if you're introverted, extroverted, everyone's different. I mean, we're all different personalities. People like, oh, Scott, you're way too fast for me. I need an agent that kind of just slow down. And that's fine, because everyone has their own thing they like, but you need to make that connection with your agent. So I mean, if you're someone likes to text at 10 o'clock at night and your agent says, no, I turn my phone off at 8, you just gotta find the agent that works best with you. Because I mean, once you start, it's pretty interesting. It's almost like you're dating. Once you get the connection, you found the right person, it's kind of like, oh wow, I was gonna text you, it happens. And it's very important. As soon as you feel like the agent or it's not working, or you feel like, oh, I'm afraid to ask that question, probably not the right fit. I mean, you need to be able to just feel as comfortable as you can, or you're almost like family, just, you gotta be able to talk to them, because if you don't tell the agent what you're thinking, it goes down the wrong road. You gotta be open, so I mean, if the agent's trying to show you a house and he likes it and you don't, you just say, this is not for me. And don't feel afraid to do it. So the other thing, one of the things we brought LGBTQ plus community, there are things out there, unfortunately, there are sellers out there, there's other agents out there that sometimes don't see us as equals and everything. And so when we're out navigating the market, we kind of like to be neutral on how we are. We don't want to be over flamboyant, we want to do this, because you never know who we're trying to work with, you never know what people are thinking. So we try to just keep everything even keel when we can. I mean, obviously we are who we are, we're not afraid of who we are. When they get the contractor and see if it's 2 men or 2 women, whatever it is, that's fine. But the more that we can do to just be mainstream with the population we're looking at houses, whether you're selling yours, it helps. But if you're selling it and like we tone down the house a little bit, make it more neutral, because remember, if you're trying to sell your home, you want to be able to make it so where people look like they can see themselves living in your home. So if you have all crazy things going on in there, and they're like, they can't get past it. So a lot of when you're selling your home, neutral is best. And when you're buying a home, remember most people now have Ring cameras through inside and sound, so you can hear what you're saying, they see what you're doing. And it can be just something like, oh, I don't like that. I don't think they'd be good for the neighborhood. I don't think they'd be good for that. No idea, it's just stereotypical things to look out for when you're looking to purchase or sell your home. As you can see, we are a very transient group. And Florida, no matter what they say about the Republican Party and all that good stuff, we're really accepted here in most parts of Florida. I mean, we don't have the same problems other people have in other parts of the country. So we're blessed in that aspect. And again, there's other things that we have to be aware of. All right, just here are some community differences between society and us. As you can see, we'd like to see renters become more homeowners. It would be great for us and great for everybody, because you're building equity, you're actually owning something. And as I say, it's part of the dream. All right, and then LGBTQ plus buyer seller FYIs. It's basically, you can see what's there. Avoid discrimination. Housing discrimination remains a concern for the LGBTQ plus community, even though there's a lot of things in place for us. Still things you have to be aware of, as Gus mentioned earlier. And many of the major players, real estate, finance industries, they all are aware of these things, and they're out to help us. Freddie Mac has shown that 46% of us are renters, and we're trying to work on those numbers as we progress. And then obviously, like I said, there's still discrimination out there, but we're working to make it as good for us as we can. All right, general buyer, seller, FYIs is basically emotional benefits of owning. When you live where you become your home, you just want to always think, can I see myself living here? I'm going to fit in. Can you get pre-approved by your lender? These are things that your agent's going to talk to you about when you go out for financing. And a few other things there. The home inspector, the appraiser, homeowner's insurance, title, and escrow. Those are all aspects of purchasing your home. So just little things that if you get any questions about later, we can get the deeper detail with. All right, here are some resources. All these slides will be available. If you register, you can send them to you if you like. And it's now over to Ryan.
Well, thank you, everybody. My name is Juan. Guerilla. You've got my business card on each of your bags there, and a bag from us as well. I'm with Home Partners of America. We're a lease purchase program. I was actually hoping I could sit because it was much more conversational and more intimate before, but I got the clicker up here and we invited to come up. So first and foremost, thank you, Scott. Thank you, David, for inviting me to come and talk about what we offer. And I think that the title of today's session was how to be in a competitive real estate market and take advantage of the resources and solutions out there. I think we provide one of those. I'm a licensed real estate sales associate from Florida as well. I've known Ben for a very long time. His team is a great user of our program. You'll see a couple quotes here, just a little bit about how his team has found success in using our program from the agent side. But we've got a lot of lenders in this room. We've got a lot of potential home buyers in this room that need these options because of this crazy market that we're going through. Awesome. So our program is a great fit for a lot of what Ben and Scott were talking about. I want to hit on this uncrazy and uncertain market. So a lease option purchase program is I'm a client, I'm a person that wants to be a homeowner, I want a single family home, but I can't get it right now for whatever reason. I don't have the credit, I don't have the down payment, I'm relocating, I don't know anything about this neighborhood, or maybe I saw what my parents went through in 08 and 09, and I am not interested in buying a home right now. This market is insane. I don't know what these interest rates are doing. I just want to be a renter for a little while. That's where our program could be a really good fit for your potential clients or for you as a user of the program. So I would go and find a real estate agent, or we can bring one up to the table for you and say, this is a great option for you. You can see we're in over 80 markets, and what we bring to the table from an investor's standpoint. So there's a lot of different iBuyers out there, a lot of different opportunities for those folks, and they need a place in this market, but we can come in all cash with very limited contingencies and a very competitive offer. So like Scott alluded to, maybe they are not competitive right now, and they need to take advantage of somebody who is a much more competitive offer. Using our program to do that can get you through the door into that house, and now you've bought the time that you need to actually buy it back, which is fantastic. You can also see some of the stats here. We're now over 30,000 homes. We're not just over 28, which is great. I was gonna play a video, let's see if it works. Come on, more slides. Nope, all good, all good. I did want to highlight something really, really quickly. We do offer a choice-based program. So obviously, there are folks out there who need a little bit of a helping hand right now. This program offers a low to moderate income household family the ability to eventually buy back their property. We get them into credit repair, we get them into budgeting, and that's just one of the resources that we also offer those particular clients. Great quote from Ben here. You can see some folks on his team, and Ben's beautiful face right there on the slide. I got to present this a couple weeks ago as well. You can see one of his agents alone has already closed 5 deals with us. So that's 5 families and 5 households that she was able to support in a way that they were not going to be able to get that house otherwise. And the best part about this program, 2 of those people have already purchased back that property this year alone. That probably tells me that they were doing what Scott needed them to do, which is I just needed an all-cash offer. I needed a quick close. I needed somebody that could come here with limited contingencies. I would use Home Partners, and they bought it back relatively quickly. They bought it back within the first 8 months. What's also great about this program is you know exactly what you're going to pay for up to 5 years in rent, and then when you buy it back. So if I knew that, if you live in a Greystar building or another building downtown, they're increasing their rents 19%, 20%. Ours are 3.75. Very modest increase year over year for 5 years. And at least I would know it, right? I'm not in a single family household where they could just jack my rent up $300 and now I have to go get a part-time job or move out. You know exactly what you're going to pay. So again, buying that time, giving you that flexibility. Another huge success story, David himself just closed on his first deal with Home Partners, which is fantastic. He was able to help out this client who couldn't make something happen. Would love to hear the story really quickly.
So it's actually turned out to be a multi-generational family. One of the family members, they're waiting on a accident at work, and they're waiting on all that stuff to settle out. So this made it even better for them because they're like, hey, we know we need to buy. We're taking in grandma. We're taking in our twin sister. We need space. And so I was like, well, let's talk about Home Partners and see if it's a good fit. And they put everything in there and the income and all the stuff from everybody. And they actually are moving in today. And they are, the deal is, I forgot how many bedrooms it is. I think it's 5 bedrooms, about a 5-bedroom house, 3 baths. Mom and her twin sister have their own bathroom. Everybody kind of has their own space. And beautiful home, great location, and it's about a $460,000 purchase. So, beneficial to me on that end, but my goal is it's just more the client's focus is where that goes. But I think overall it was such an easy process. They were very upfront. There was no surprises at the end. All your information's up front, so you know what you're getting into. There's no questions. Very solid cash offers, so it makes us super competitive in the market. I mean, that house was on the market a day, and we were the first accepted offer. So it can definitely give you that.
Yeah, so just a great success story. If you're coming from the lender background, obviously partnering with your agents and talking to them about this program, becoming that expert, and they're not qualified yet. Let's get them into this house. This could be a really great opportunity. And then where are they going to go to right after that? For that first or second year when they want to buy it back, they're going to go right back to that first lender that they talked to that helped them save this deal and get them into that house. Because maybe they just want to rent for a little bit, figure things out. They're going to go right back to that person. I did want to highlight, we do have a promo code for agents, lenders, folks who want to use this program or are interested in maybe applying to it. It was specifically made for this group. It's RL Pride. Looks like Ben's about to send it to 30 of his agents right now. Absolutely take advantage of it. This is my first Pride Chamber event, and I'm very excited to be here. I'm a member of the LGBTQ community, so this is, like I said, my first. Very excited. Thank you all for letting me chat really quickly. Excited for Q&A. Can answer all your questions as well.
Wait, what does the promo code get you?
Promo code will be half off the application fee.
There we go.
Sorry. Half off the application fee. There is an application fee to apply to the program. It's about $75, but this will cut that in half. It's good for the next few weeks, so definitely take advantage of that. Awesome. Thanks for your I'm actually not sure if I'm kicking over to others. Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm David Brown with Beyond Home Real Estate. I'm the broker and owner of the company. And my part today is to talk about commercial. A lot of us are business owners. There's a lot of things that, especially small business owners and medium-sized businesses, we have to worry about and think about that, traditional larger companies don't have to stress over. The few things will come up, I'll discuss are kind of the market trends and what's coming up. The difference between a commercial lease and a commercial sale, because they are very different in how they're handled. Some similarities, but we'll get there, and then we'll just have a little Q&A once, everybody can ask questions going forward. So in the commercial world, it's grown dramatically as the residential world has at this point in time. 10 years ago, it was about $169,500 to purchase commercial property on average. Today, it's 365% increase to $619,000. Numbers. That's all I gotta say. So you can imagine, in 2022, how hard it is to find a place to rent. I mean, even for my business, even as just an office professional, the price per square foot for a place is astronomically higher than what it was even a year ago. So, these things put strains on our businesses. They definitely affect us, and especially as LGBT-owned businesses, etc. It becomes even more strenuous because there's different things that may stop us financing, as Scott brought up, some people don't necessarily want to help us or things of that nature. So there's still a lot of things that need to change just in general terms, but we're seeing a forward momentum, and that's where the Pride Chamber comes in to help with a lot of that. Their focus is on that business and helping us grow. But the pandemic really pushed a lot of the increase in the values in the last couple of years because people are like, hey, I lost my job, or my job, I really don't like it, I'm just miserable, and they're like, let me do something I love, and a lot of people started their own businesses. Where do you gotta go? So we're seeing, outside of the typical office space, we're seeing the rise in the shared office spaces, the co-working spaces, and that's helping to offset a lot of the costs, but at the same time, they still have to purchase the property. So even though we may not be seeing the front end of it, we're on the back end when it comes to the actual rental price that we're charged for those spaces. So just some things to look at. I've helped a few clients with their commercial transactions. Some of them, they didn't realize they were that far over their head as we started the conversations, and then some were prepared and ready to go. But these are typical terms you'll see all the time when it comes to a commercial lease. So the gross lease, which is generally what a lot of small businesses are looking for, is just the flat rate, I pay this per month, that's it. But if you're looking to have a bigger office space, or you're looking to branch out into newer developing areas, even as a small business, you're gonna run into more of the single net to the triple net discussions as far as what rent goes. And when I was looking for an office space for myself, I was like, I just want a gross lease, I just need enough space, nothing big, 700-800 square feet. And they were like, oh, we don't do gross lease. Taking advantage of the market, and they're like, you have to, I saw a lot of triple net leases for 600 square feet, which I was like, you've lost your mind. But to get into it, so the gross lease is just the flat monthly rate, the property owner takes care of all the details. The single net actually covers, you're gonna pay a base rent plus a portion of the property taxes. The property taxes are split among the other tenants, so hopefully there's more tenants, so it's less cost to you. But if you're in a smaller strip mall or wherever your location, that price can potentially double what your rent is depending on where you are in location, county taxes, all of that stuff will come into play. The double net is now the base rent, property taxes, and you have to have pay a portion of the property insurance. So it's not your insurance policy, it's you're paying a portion of the owner's insurance policy. So if you're in a big shopping center, that insurance policy is high. So you're looking at, okay, so I gotta pay $800 a month for base rent. The taxes are another $400, and then now my portion of property insurance is another $350. So your numbers are continually increasing as you go up this list. And as the triple net is, you basically pay for everything. This is generally found with larger purchases. Let's say you're a whole office building purchase. When someone goes to buy it or they're renting it out, it's generally like big corporations generally have the pockets to handle those things. And that's you're paying base rent, property taxes, insurance, and the maintenance of all the common areas. And this is what I was seeing a lot during the pandemic and a lot in the recent few months talking to clients is they want you to help cover all the costs. And the property owner pretty much doesn't pay much. So, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, it was like this 600 square feet now from 800 is now $1,900 a month out of budget, depending on who you are. So, these are things just to keep a lookout. So if you're looking to expand your business, if you're looking to, whatever you're trying to do, these are things you definitely want to look at and see if it's in the listing. Generally, they will put it in there. There's special listing sites for commercial websites. And then if they don't put it there, that's a question you want to ask your realtor to find for you, because sometimes it's not upfront. And these can be negotiated sometimes depending on the location. So if it's a newer shopping center, things you can negotiate. And some of these, especially if you're like the first person in the door, you can probably like, hey, I don't want to pay you triple net, but maybe I can start at single net, and as the property grows, we can adjust to meet this demand. And it's generally price per square foot is included, and all the other things that you may need to do. I think I'll get into that in a second. So just a few things, we'll get into the commercial sales, but as part of that rentals, the lease side, things to keep in mind with that are that you may have to, the space may not be finished. So it could just be a shell of a building. So you have to now take into account the triple net or whatever the rent costs are. Then do I need to put up walls? Do I need to buy furniture? Do I need to have desks, technology, plumbing, electrical, signage? All those can kind of get wrapped up into your initial offset costs of you moving into commercial space. Now, when you get to the actual purchase side, financing a commercial purchase is a lot more complicated. It's not like a typical mortgage. Those can take about 60 to 90 days to close. The financing side will take about that long. And the total closing process could take about 90 days. Ms. Marlene, I know you're entitled. What do you see in commercial?
Commercial, it depends on both sides. First of all, if you're getting good product right up front and you have a really good real estate agent, you have a really good lender, then it's great. If you don't, then it can take a while. But yeah, if they're vetted very well up front, then it doesn't take us long to get it all. You're right, about 90 days.
Okay. So, and I thank you, Ms. Marlene, I appreciate that. And what is also then you're coming to financing, they're asking for a lot more documentation. So when you talk to your agent and you're saying, hey, we want to buy this big chunk of land and develop it commercial, there's a lot of things you got to look into, because they're not just looking into your business, they're looking into you personally. So you're going to provide the last 6 months to a year of bank records for the business and for yourself. You're going to provide your personal and company tax returns, your profit and loss, insurance checks. There's going to be all kinds of background checks, all kinds of stuff are going to happen, and you just need to be prepared for that, because that's just going to take time. So having that initial consultation with a commercial agent or commercial broker will be important so that you can prepare to step into that light. The other thing that we'll run into that will throw off any closing will be your local city and county ordinances, zoning, and other requirements that may be involved, which will cover environmental issues. So if we're in Florida, there's a lot of stuff with gopher tortoises. Though I've had residential construction contracts get delayed because we have to move the turtles. So, and I used to work for Orange County government in their real estate division, and I've actually had situations where we get the environmental reports, and we're like, it's a book probably, I would say, about, I'm just gonna borrow this real quick, about this thick, that we have to go through, and they had to go through in the county, and you had to make sure that there were no special creatures or anything of that nature, any waterway concerns if there were, if it was a gas station prior, those are all environmental concerns, that come into play, and then you may have to rezone it if it was a gas station, because it's not zoned for what you're trying to do if it's office space or whatever your plans are. So these are all things that come into play when you're going and you have to submit a plan to the county. There's a lengthy process, so that knowing someone who has that skill and expertise is going to be your best friend in getting to those things. So then this just kind of goes over the sales process for a commercial sale. So you want to start with your research. Do as much research done up front so that you know the location where you want to be, your budget, which is going to be very important. You're going to need to make sure that you talk to the agent, you know where your lease is and what your best bet and plan will be. So once you get that plan in place, then you can step through these next steps, which is going to check out the properties. So you want to make sure, hey, this property looks great, because photos can be altered. So, it looks a little bigger than what it is, or it's a little small, or it's bigger than what it looks online, it looks like it's finished and it looks like it's actually a hole in the wall. You run into all these things. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure you visit every single property. Set a time, a schedule, a date with your agent to really go through those timelines. And then you'll work on your offer. Commercial offers are quite different. When you go to, a lot of them will require you to submit a pre-offer or a bid for the property or for that space. And there's a special sheet that fills out with just the basic details of what your offer entails. And are you looking for a triple net? Are you looking for a single net? Those are all things that you would need to discuss with your agent so that when they go submit that, and then you need to tell them what type of company you are. So if you're doing retail, if your retail avails like a tea shop, which is one of my old clients, they were, franchising a tea shop. Are you going to be, do you need plumbing? Do you need, these are all things that the potential landlord will need to know if it's a blank space, etc. So those are things that you'll have to cover in that offer. And then the closing process, as we said, is about 90 days, and that's when we get through the vetting process and closing out title and make sure everything's clear so there's no issues going down that path. And that's just me. So it's my contact information. Actually, I don't have a business card there because I have gone completely digital. I'll just pass around my business card. You can scan the QR code and you can download my contact information. Just please make sure I get that back because a lot of people try to get that. So I was like, I need that back. So I chase people around like, give me this card, please. Yeah, exactly. I only have one. So you can definitely reach out if you have any questions, not only in commercial, but also for residential and home partners. I work with them as well. So and Ben and Scott as well. So we're definitely here to help you guys get through that process. And this is just some of the business as a company where we're associated, obviously, with the Chamber of Commerce, the Pride Chamber, and then the LGBT Real Estate Alliance is also another option for you to go and search for potential agents that are LGBTQ friendly or LGBTQ owned teams or agents themselves. And there's just our other certifications and designations that the company's been able to get. So that's it.